Hi there guys, so promoter Eddie Hearn has explained that Katie Taylor could be the first female boxer to headline a show at Madison Square Garden in the spring. This is what he had to say about the possibility of Katie Taylor headlining her own show in America at Madison Square Garden, the mecca of boxing. I think Serrano has to be next, and I think it will be. I think that should come in April, and that should come in New York. I think that could be the first all-female main event to headline at the Garden. It's a monstrous fight. I take Katie's career very seriously. I'm incredibly emotional and invested in her career because I feel like everything is a challenge with what we are doing. I'm very motivated to deliver for her. So that is what Eddie Hearn has had to say about Katie Taylor's future in the sport of boxing, that she could headline her own show in the spring, more specifically in April at the Garden, Madison Square Garden. Now, this is brilliant for Katie Taylor because she had a great 2019. She was undisputed at lightweight, then moved up to junior welterweight and won a belt in that division as well. So I think that Katie Taylor has to be up there with Fighter of the Year 2019. She has to be in that conversation at least, considering what she has achieved over the course of 2019. And 2020 looks like it could kick off with her own main event. And that would be well deserved for Katie Taylor because, as I said, she has to be mentioned at least for Fighter of the Year, especially given the fights that she has had. The Delphine Piersoon fight on the Anthony Joshua undercard, where she became undisputed lightweight champion, and then the Leonardo 2 fight where she moved up to junior welterweight and won the WBO world title at that weight. So she became a 2-weight world champion while also being an undisputed champion as well. And even the conversation about Eddie Hearn putting Katie Taylor on her own show as the main event means that women's boxing is taking a giant leap. It's not just women's boxing anymore, it's boxing as a whole. There is no men's boxing and women's boxing. It's just boxing because we all enjoy watching Katie Taylor fight. In fact, Katie Taylor is one of the most talented boxers in boxing at the moment. I mean, if you consider what she is capable of doing and what she has achieved in just 15 fights, as I said, undisputed lightweight champion and WBO junior welterweight champion. And she has a professional record of 15 wins and 0 losses. And 6 of those wins have come within the distance. So Katie Taylor is making waves in boxing, not just women's boxing, but in boxing as a whole. So headlining her own show is well deserved, and it's a great way for her to kick off 2020 considering the 2019 that she had. And Eddie Hearn has explained the fight will be with Amanda Serrano. At least that is what he is thinking to put on at Madison Square Garden. Now that is a great fight, and in her own words, this is what she said: no matter what weight, I will win. So Amanda Serrano is very confident going into that fight. Now Amanda Serrano's record stands at 37 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw and 27 KOs. So Serrano boasts a whole heap of experience in the pro game, when you consider that Katie Taylor has had less than half fights than her in the pro game. So this would be a great fight, and it is the perfect fight to be staged at Madison Square Garden. Now obviously with Katie Taylor making waves in boxing, obviously there are comparisons being drawn between her and Ronda Rousey. And obviously she done so well in the UFC and she was a major star. In fact, she was a major draw for the UFC. Now obviously I don't think it's the same thing because Katie Taylor doesn't possess that trash talking and she's not the same as Ronda Rousey. But when she gets in the ring, she is a machine. And one thing that she does very well is she works to the body and she always starts and finishes with the jab. Gets her jab out there, throws her combinations, works to the body and pushes that jab back out there to create that distance so that she is unable to be countered. That is one thing that she does extremely well, keeping her distance and her positioning in the ring. As I said, she has to be up there with one of the most skillful boxers in boxing at the moment, and she has to be in the conversation for Fighter of the Year 2019. Guys, what are your thoughts on this? Eddie Hearn explaining that Katie Taylor could headline her own show at Madison Square Garden in April, and the fact that there could be $1 million on the table for Katie Taylor in that fight. An epic showdown at Madison Square Garden with Amanda Serrano. Guys, what are your thoughts on this fight? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, click your thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.